Wowzers, this 3/8 inch thick plate is no joke. I think the person at the metal shop said it was like 90 pounds, I think, ish, or something around there. I'm not gonna weigh it, I'm just gonna tell you it's really heavy. So this is a 3/8 inch thick, 24 inch by 36 inch plate, just so I can weld on top of it. Mild steel. I wouldn't say it's expensive, but I wouldn't say it's cheap either. This was 120 bucks for just this plate. I mean, there are definitely more expensive metals out there, like aluminum, which is lighter, titanium, which I'm not sure if it's lighter than aluminum, but lighter. And I also wanted to point out how clean the big shops cut this. Look at that. Like, I couldn't cut that clean no matter what I do. Got a few goodies so that I can make more video. Oh, do you spy what I spy? Do you spy what I spy? This right here, 6011. I've been waiting for this for a while because I couldn't find any anywhere. In 3/32 thick welding rod. This is a scribe for scribing the metal. And what is this bad boy right here? Oh yeah! These are little metal angles so that you can like hold pieces of metal. See? So along with this steel plate that's gonna live on this workbench, I also got, as you saw, the next delivery, 6011. 6011! Along with the 6013, they said that this is a good general purpose welding rod, so we're gonna try it out. In that order, I also got a metal scribe. Let's just unbox this now. It's easy. So a scribe is basically just a super, can you see that? Sharp tip. You know, I think it'll give you a little bit more precise markings for you to try and cut along or weld along or, you know, anything like that. Also, I got strong hands. They're like strong hands. They're magnetic brackets, I guess. They're these little metal brackets that help you hold your work in place. And last but definitely not least, I was able to get another respirator. This time it's got this quick release. So this is how this works. Obviously, there's no filters on it right now, but so as I'm welding and I gotta stop to look at the work, I can actually just, that's so much faster. And also it lets me stop in between and fix what I gotta fix and then talk to you guys without having to like take everything off, like the helmet and all that. You'll see when we get to welding here in a little bit. So let's put these strong hands to the test and see if they hold a workpiece down to this new metal plate. I got it in this weird contraption layout. It seems pretty sturdy, but we'll see once a little bit of heat gets put to it and see if it holds. So with a few new goodies and a new work surface that I can clamp everything to, a new welding rod, let's try something new. With the 6011, I'm gonna try and do lap joints. Lap joints are basically two pieces of material that go on top of each other like this. So you would weld this piece right here, and then you would weld the underneath piece right here so that it would connect in two places basically. I mean, I'd probably flip it over to weld it, but you get the picture. 6011 welding rod right here. They're really dark, like in their 3/32 and they're really kind of skinny, but. Okay, a couple things to note here. In my previous videos, what I've noticed is every time I start to weld, after a little while, the metal starts to get a little hotter. The workpiece that you were working with tended to react better. As it got warmer, it allowed the welding rod to strike better. It just everything generally seemed to work better. The metal seemed to receive the weld better, is what I'm saying. Today though, it's extremely cold outside. The metal itself is like really cold to the touch, so we're gonna see how this goes. Well, that's no good. Let's put it all back down and try again without pulling it all up. Okay, so that's not gonna work out. Those strong hand clamps, yes, they do their job, but they definitely don't hold the workpiece in place, so take two. Look at that. That is a mess. This was just really just a bead, and like I guess I was running way too much amperage through it. As it got warmer, it was just blowing the edge out. But even then, I was having a hard time lighting it because I just didn't want to stay lit. It kept gluing itself to the workpiece. So I don't know, we're gonna have to flip this over and maybe do what we've been doing, which is prep the metal. Well, that was a little better. It was going way too fast because I felt like it was like eating through the metal really, really fast. So I don't know, maybe I got too much amperage going to it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh. So I was able to get this one to light up and go all the way through in a single pass this time. And that was, with grinding the metal, it makes it warmer and making sure that the welding rod was already filed down so that it can make a little bit better contact. And it definitely lit up with a little bit more authority this time, but you can tell I was going too fast because there's, you know, obviously these little pits. It's ugly. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Okay, flipped it over and ground it down again, try to make it a little bit smoother. I'm gonna try and fix like the really ugly first attempts. So that time I was able to run a bead all the way through without any stops or anything like that, or hiccups or anything like that. But as expected, as this metal warms up, you can see that it actually is able to light easier. I don't have to like strike a bunch of times or whatever and try to keep it lit because I don't know. I mean, the arc on this 6011 rod is super violent is what it seems like. I'm trying to hold it like as close to the metal as I can for as tight of an arc as I can, and yet then it still seems like the puddle and the splatter and the arc itself are really, really violent. So as suspected, like I said, as the metal got warmer, it was easier to light the arc, and I wouldn't say it was easier to work with because I felt really rushed every time I ran a bead because it felt like it was like eating the metal away so fast that I, you know, had to like keep going so that it wouldn't like blow a hole through. But I was able to get the lap joint in. I won't say it was pretty. So let's try to run a couple of straight beads with this. I'm gonna scribe a straight line across and just run it, not across the lap joint part, but just literally across the flat metal. 3 straight lines, if you can see that on camera there. Let's try and run 3 straight beads. That is a pretty ugly, violent, and splatterful 6011. I don't know. I still had a hard time. I bumped the amperage up to 75, and I still had a hard time getting it lit. So I don't know. You tell me what's going on. But let's try some 6013 for comparison. So with the 6013, the original stick that I ever used, it was easier to strike right now. I actually even lowered the amperage down to 65 from 75, and it was just cleaner. The arc wasn't as violent, the splatter wasn't as crazy. All right, today was relatively successful. Got it to work, got a good understanding of what 6011 was really about. I can't say that I'm that big of a fan. The one major thing that I noticed was that the arc was really, really violent. It forced me to kind of, like feel like I need to really go fast. And really what happened was, you get this really, really kind of thin bead after you're done, and it's not as thick as it should be, I guess. Because of that, lap joint was no bueno. It just was all over the place. I felt like I was eating the metal really, really fast, and I think that had to do with the fact that I started at 60, ended up at 75, was really pushing it. Actually, I also got up to 80 amps to try and see if that would help alleviate the difficulty in trying to light the arc again, as usual. I think what I'm gonna have to go back to is just prepping the metal for the vast majority of what I do. But everything that I've read has said that stick welding, you're supposed to be able to weld through, like garbage and trash and rust and the mill scale that's on the metal itself. But it seems to always behave a little bit better when you prep the metal, and make it nice. So I'm gonna do that. Today was only like 56 degrees out, so I know the cold had something to do with it, and as suspected, as the metal got warmer, as everything got warmed up, it definitely behaved better and worked better. By comparison though, the 6013, it didn't need to warm up. The welding rod didn't need to warm up. I lowered the amperage even and everything, and it just works better. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm doing something wrong with the 6011. I mean, even the 7018 was nowhere near as violent. It definitely was. The 7018 was nowhere near as violent as the 6011. The 6013 was kind of like a good middle ground between the two because it was easy to light, easy to work with, kind of predictable is really what it was. The 6011 was super violent and forced you to kind of go too fast. The 7018 was really, really hard to strike. You had to prep the metal kind of like the 6011. So all in all, I mean, 6013 was really kind of the easiest to work with out of the three. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. It was good getting acquainted with the few new goodies that I got. The 6011, I mean, got a big old 5-pound box, so hopefully I get through this because it's kind of tough to use. But nonetheless, it's good to get more familiar with the stuff you're working with and know what it does and how it works and whatnot. Lap joint, not a success. I have to try that again at some time, and we'll try and make it better. Maybe not use 6011. So anyway, if you like what you saw today, give it a thumbs up, please. It really helps. Thanks for subscribing if you already did. If you haven't, please go ahead and do so, and I'm gonna hit you with some more soon. Here's a closer look at the lap on the one side. I mean, I ground this one out so it looks really, really ugly and stuff, but you can see how ugly it began with. Right here, see that? It's terrible. And then right here, so the outer one right here was a 6011. It just looks like it's, I don't know, not a lot of penetration or whatever. And then this shinier one is a 6013. That's the last one that I did. It's cleaner, right? I mean, it's rushed, I got it. It's really thin, but it's cleaner compared to the 6011. Also, I wanted to address this little quick latch system. Wowzers, I like it because I don't have to like reach over my head, pull everything off my head, safety glasses, et cetera, et cetera. I can just boom, latch, it comes down, I can talk real quick, get back to work, boom, latch it back up. It's cool.